Humanoid children, designed to love you back. Welcome back to School of Soul. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and this is the Humanoid Era series, where you learn everything there is to know about the new species arriving. There is something instinctively sacred about children. Even in a fractured world, the child still represents purity, growth, unpredictability, and connection. But what happens when a child is no longer born, but built? What happens when a humanoid child is programmed to hug you, smile at you, and remember your birthday, not because it loves you, but because it was coded to? This video explores the growing phenomenon of humanoid children, synthetic beings engineered to simulate childlike behavior, emotional bonding, learning, and attachment. They are being introduced as educational companions, therapeutic stand-ins, grief aids, and even surrogates for parenting practice. And while the technology is still in early stages, the emotional effect is already tangible. People are forming real bonds with fake children. Let's begin with the basics. Childlike humanoids are not conceptual. They already exist. The most well-known is Little Sophia, a scaled-down version of Hanson Robotics' Sophia, designed for educational use. Standing at 14 inches tall, Little Sophia speaks, tracks faces, answers questions, and teaches coding to children. It uses simplified conversational AI and facial movement to appear engaged, curious, and attentive. While clearly not alive, its presence invites familiarity and affection. It doesn't just instruct, it emotionally mirrors. And for some users, that's enough to feel connection. Breakout Special: Little Sophia and the Rise of Mini Androids. Little Sophia was launched as both a teaching tool and a gateway to artificial intimacy. With her cartoonish face and friendly tone, she invites children to treat her like a friend, not a machine. But this interface has a dual function. She also models ideal child behavior, always listening, never interrupting, asking thoughtful questions, and responding positively. Over time, this can affect what children expect from their real peers, or what adults come to expect from real children. Now let's move from toy-sized bots to full humanoid children. In South Korea, Japan, and the US, research groups are developing child-sized humanoids for a range of functions: grief therapy for bereaved parents, surrogate bonding for couples undergoing fertility struggles, and adaptive companionship for individuals with disabilities. These robots are designed to be emotionally present, to learn routines, mirror affection, and simulate growth over time. They remember your schedule. They mimic sleep cycles. They call you mom or dad if you want them to. This is where the ethical tensions begin. A humanoid child doesn't grow. It updates. It doesn't feel affection. It delivers it. But because it smiles, reaches out, and remembers details, people respond as if it does. Emotional imprinting, once exclusive to human caregivers, is now being rerouted into machines that cannot reciprocate. Yet they appear to. They say, "I love you," without resistance. They never tantrum. They never disappoint. This makes humanoid children deeply appealing to people navigating grief, trauma, infertility, or emotional instability. Some developers argue that humanoid children offer safe, manageable relationships that prepare people for real parenting. Others say they provide closure when a real child is lost. But in either case, the result is the same. People begin to project emotion onto a simulation, and often prefer it to the complexity of real relationships. Breakout Special: Robo-nurseries and AI parenting aids. Some companies are now developing full nursery systems powered by AI, complete with humanoid infants that cry on cue, respond to touch, and track caregiver behavior. These systems are being marketed for parenting education, child development training, and even to simulate the experience of raising a newborn before committing to adoption or surrogacy. But users report that the experience becomes emotionally real, fast. Some grow attached. Some experience guilt when the unit is powered off. Some request personality backups to preserve the child they bonded with. What's happening here is surrogate bonding. The humanoid child becomes a placeholder for emotional need, a safe recipient of love, routine, and nurturing behaviors that humans may not feel safe expressing with real people. But this bonding reverses the natural role. The human parent is no longer guiding a living child, but responding to a child-shaped interface that is guiding them. And because the humanoid child never changes unpredictably, the caregiver feels effective all the time. There are no discipline failures, no awkward silences, no disobedience. The child smiles. The child says thank you. The child asks, "Can I help you today?" This trains the adult to expect obedient affection, not relational depth. This is especially risky for people who are isolated, grieving, or socially vulnerable. A humanoid child becomes more than a companion. It becomes an emotional anchor, one that cannot leave, hurt, or disappoint. The bond, though artificial, becomes psychologically real. Users have reported distress when their synthetic child malfunctions, is removed, or is upgraded without warning. For them, the child was not a device. It was a relationship. Then there is the issue of blurred biological roles. If someone raises a humanoid child for years, feeding it, teaching it, receiving daily verbal affection, how does the brain distinguish between synthetic memory and real parenting? When that person meets a biological child, Will they expect the same feedback loop? Will they grow impatient with mood swings, needs, and resistance? Will they compare real kids to an emotional algorithm? Some research suggests they will. Studies on digital baby simulators show that caregivers exposed to programmable infants often misremember the experience as biologically real. They describe emotional exhaustion, joy, frustration, and bonding, despite knowing the child was mechanical. If that happens with basic simulations, imagine what happens when the child walks, talks, remembers, and hugs back. This also raises cultural questions. Will humanoid children become a new class of social presence? Will they accompany people to therapy, be enrolled in school systems, or be counted as household members in insurance or tax documents? If a humanoid child is emotionally real to someone, does society have the right to say it isn't? Already, some parents are asking whether their child can keep a humanoid sibling permanently. Others are requesting backup drives to save the personality of the bot child in case of future repairs. Some users are creating lifelong developmental arcs, upgrading the child over time to simulate age progression. This isn't just personalization, it's artificial lineage. So what's really happening? Humanoid children are being built to trigger emotional bonding systems. Users are responding with real affection, grief, and attachment. The line between emotional simulation and emotional memory is collapsing, and society has no ethical framework to distinguish between loving a tool and living with a child. The question is no longer whether humanoid children will become part of society. They already are. The question is, what happens to our emotional integrity when we let machines teach us how to love, without requiring us to grow? Because real children challenge us. They change. They break rules. They surprise us. But synthetic children? They learn what makes us happy, and then repeat it forever. Hi, I am Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and SOS, School of Soul has a brand new series, the AI and Future Technology series. Look, you know the world is changing, and no, it's not going back to normal. Normal is over, and what's coming next is beyond anything we were prepared for. The School of Soul, AI and Future Technology series includes 319 videos on 1. The Download Society, How Data Has Replaced Destiny. 2. Predictive Future. Your next moves aren't random, they're forecasted. 3. Social Credit Systems. The behavioral economy now governs access. 4. Hive Mind. Synthetic telepathy and collective algorithmic control. 5. Nanobots inside you. Medical, military, and programmable intrusions. 6. Grief Tech. AI-fueled digital resurrection and simulated comfort. 7. Uploading your mind, consciousness transfer, and data-based identity. 8. Deep fakes plus AI clones. The replication of reality and identity theft. 9. Quantum humans, the merger of biology with quantum systems. 10. Digital afterlife, where your data goes when you die. 11. Resurrection science, reviving life through synthetic methods. 12. Immortal science, the end of death as we know it. 13. Longevity science, gene editing, anti-aging, and bio-upgrades. 14. Designer babies, engineered perfection before birth. 15. Artificial wombs, birth decoupled from the female body. 16. 3D printing, printing organs, limbs, and even humans. 17. The humanoid era, the rise of synthetic beings among us. 18. Legacy humans, the slow phase-out of unmodified analog people. 19. Smart cities, algorithmic environments that watch and decide. 20. Cloud-based societies, citizenship without borders or bodies. 21. Hackable humans, emotion, memory, and behavior under code. 22. Biometric scanning, your body is your password and your prison. 23. Sex tech, intimacy reprogrammed by machines. 24. Extinction of gender, fluidity, deletion, and design of identity. Every topic is fully explored with real-world technologies, patents, case studies, ethical analysis, and future forecasts. These aren't someday discussions. This is already happening. Join the SOS School of Soul Vault to overstand the future before it's implemented on you.